Well, good afternoon to you and welcome to my Facebook Live today. I've got a very annoying fly which I'm hoping to persuade out of the window, but we will see shortly. So I hope everybody is keeping well and that you have something planned for the weekend, even if it's only staying at home and doing some crafting or possibly shopping, sitting in the garden, working in the garden, any of those really. Hi Tracy, thank you for joining me this afternoon. I trust you've had a good week, Tracy. That fly's not going anywhere, is it? We will see. Okay, so today it's all about chocolate. Hi Jeanette. So let me show you briefly what we've done this week, and I apologise if you've seen all of these before, so I will just show you really quickly. So the set that we've been using all week is called Nothing's Better Than, and as you can see it features coffee, cookies, cocktails, chocolate. There's no reason why this couldn't be tea as well, using the letters from the Playful Alphabet set. So you could make it into, for those that like tea. So let me show you very quickly. So these were the cards we made on Monday. Just straightforward note cards with envelopes. So this one is the chocolate theme. Today's plan, consume chocolate. I'm pretty sure tomorrow will be too. And then we had today's plan, consume coffee and be awesome. And then the last one we had on Monday was a day without cookies. Is like, just kidding, I have no idea. So those were Mondays. Tuesday we had cookies. So I do this one here, and I just overlaid the cookies, stamped them and coloured them with blends pens and overlaid them. And I used the die cut for the cookies and put that onto our 3D foam. And then the next day, Wednesday, we had cocktails. So two very different cards, but using effectively the same, well obviously the same main cocktail stamp, stamping on a background here, and then use the Stamparatus here on the left hand side to do a line of them. And then yesterday we did hot chocolate, again using these die cut words that come with the set, and then chocolate, and then I've used our Playful Alphabet for the word hot. I use an offcut of some gold paper on there and the little cup. So Friday session is always one that is suitable for families and for beginners, and I'm actually using the hot chocolate theme. Hi Silla. Because one of the things that paper crafters love to do is bring their paper crafting into other elements, so not just card making but gift giving, for example. So what I'm going to show you is how to turn a plain, not very plain because this is yummy, bar of chocolate into a little gift. Much more interesting than just handing it over like that. So if you were going to see somebody and you just wanted a token to give them, or maybe they're not feeling good and you just wanted to drop in a token of something, then this is the perfect way to do it. I'm going to come back to the hot chocolate in a second. Let me move that paper out. So one of the easiest ways is just to find some paper either that is suitable for the recipient or that matches the item that you've got. And what you can just do is literally, and this is happens to be 6 inches by 12 inches, so you can literally just fold this over like so and stick it down. And I chose this to match the paper here. Now if you know the person particularly well, you can obviously remove this label altogether. If you were giving it to somebody who you didn't know particularly well and you wanted them to know what was the contents, then you would leave the label on. But what we're going to do, and this is the easiest way to create the outer, is to take the wrapping off, put the chocolate somewhere safe. Hello Molly. In my case, nowhere near the dog or the window or in my reach. I'm going to use this paper. I haven't decided which side I'm going to use. I probably will use this one. And then all you need to do is use this as a template, because you know it's going to fit the chocolate bar. You don't have to measure it. You could literally just mark this with a pencil, because you know what I'm like with measuring, and a lot of people are. As soon as you start measuring and then transferring information across somewhere to somewhere else, that's where mistakes can occur. So all I'm going to do is just put a little pencil line here and here, and then here and here, and you could cut these with scissors, okay, or you can cut them with a guillotine or a paper trimmer. So I've got my paper trimmer. Hi Molly, thank you for saying hi. So what I'm going to do is trim this corner first, and just where I've made my pencil mark is going to go in here. So I'm going to cut that little piece off, and then this has got a tiny little bit that can be trimmed off. You could leave it. If you were leaving the outside label on, then you might want to make it slightly bigger so that it wraps around the label and the chocolate, if that makes any sense. So if I want this to be as is, then you don't even need to score it. Okay, you can literally just fold it quite tightly. Okay, place that in the middle, and I know that this is straight. Okay, you can just crease that very slightly, and how elegant does that look compared to that? Okay, now as I say, you could leave the Galaxy label on there if you wanted to, and all I would do is put some tape or some seal on this one edge, okay, and then bring this up and over quite tightly. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. I've got some seal here. You want something that is going to hold. Okay, you don't have to put anything in the middle, you know, to hold it down. Just let it wrap around. Okay, so this is a great one for youngsters to do, especially at Christmas. If they want to give gifts to people in their class and things like that, I would definitely recommend leaving any wrapping on, because obviously you may have people in the class that are allergic to things. So leave the wrapping on and just wrap it with some pretty paper, and then you could add a tag onto that, ready to go. So let's do that. I've got a piece of Whisper White card here, and I've cut this to just under 2 inches, and I've got, hello Carol with an E, one of our tag topper punches here that create the top. We've got 3 altogether, 2 in the current catalogue and a new one. So that creates the top, and then you can add your sentiment onto there. So let's do today's plan. Well, today is a chocolate kind of day. Let's do that. So I could find it. And there's kind of day. I'm looking for today's plan. Da, da, da. Oh, I see, consume, yes. So what I'm looking for today is a, but I've obviously put it somewhere. So I'm going to use today's plan, consume chocolate. Now I know that this won't fit. Oh, it might just fit that way. We shall see. And I think I'll do this in Bermuda Bay or Pretty Peacock to match my wrapping. Oh, that's okay, Carol. Hi, Yuta. So the beginning really was only showing you what we've done before and just showing you how, I don't know what point you came in, Carol, how you can take the wrapper from a large bar of chocolate or a small bar of chocolate, use that as a template on your patterned paper, and then use that around your chocolate. If you're giving it to somebody who you didn't know, then I would recommend leaving that layer underneath so they know what it is. We don't want any problems with allergies or anything else like that. But just showing you how you can take something plain and simple to something a little bit more special. Let me grab Bermuda Bay and Pretty Peacock. These are the sort of colours that will go nicely with that. Not espresso. Okay. And obviously, if you don't have any patterned paper, of course you can stamp your own. So if it was somebody's birthday, you could put birthday all the way over it. Bring that down a little bit. And then I'm going to do chocolate in Pretty Peacock. Now I was telling Fiona earlier on in the week that when I do this, I buy chocolate that I don't like to stop me eating it. I'll let you into a secret. I love Galaxy salted caramel. So you know where this is going, don't you? Okay. And I might actually add and be awesome, because that's quite fun, isn't it? Consume chocolate and be awesome. Why not? So obviously, if you were a beginner crafter, you may not have these stamps or anything else like that, but just use any paper you have to hand. Obviously, we have our own designer paper. Oh, I meant to do that in Bermuda Bay, never mind. But one thing you can use that works really well is good quality wrapping paper. Okay, it needs to be good quality, otherwise it will just literally, you know, rip before you started. And I'm going to cut that down. I might add a layer behind it and then put some ribbon through and attach it. So let us make this 3 inches, like so, like that. I can round these edges to make it look a bit smarter. Who else has joined us? Oh, hi Carol. Oh, hi Jen. I haven't caught up with your live yet. I saw your fantastic bowl. That was what you were doing, wasn't it, earlier, showing us your bowl, your yarn bowl. Absolutely gorgeous. So I've just used our trio punch there to round these corners. Let me find some ribbon and just cut off a length to use. So I've got 2 lengths of Bermuda Bay ribbon, like so. What I'm going to do is put those together, like that. Feed them both through the slot. Like so. And then I'm going to put a little bit of baker's twine to hold that nice and flat, rather than fold it through and then find it sort of doubling up, and then I'll trim it down. So let me grab some baker's twine. That's used to a tea, Carol, is it? This will do. I happen to have some Bermuda Bay. So for those of you that don't know anything about my team, I have a lovely team of ladies who have joined me as demonstrators. Some of them are hobby demonstrators and buy for themselves. Some of them run it as a business. And I have a lot of people who do a bit of both. And I chose our team colours a good few years ago now. And the team colours are Bermuda Bay, which also matches my Gemini Crafts logo colours. So I tend to hoard and use anything with Bermuda Bay, anything from Stampin' Up in these colours. So I've always got retired ribbon and baker's twine, anything like that in those colours. So I'm just going to trim this down. So this is just to show that, you know, not only can you use your items for card making, but use them for gift giving as well. It can make a really small gift look really special. So I can attach that on the front. I might do that with a glue dot, or you can have it at an angle. That might work too, with the ribbons over the top. Love chocolate. Yes, me too, Carol. Although mine has to be white chocolate or milk chocolate. I'm not a big dark chocolate fan. In fact, I don't eat dark chocolate. It's just too not sweet enough for me. There we go. So, very straightforward. Might add another glue dot underneath there, perhaps. Yeah. Very straightforward. Just take a chocolate bar, and you can find in the supermarket lots of little bars, like little, yes, absolutely, little animal bars or Freddo bars, little milk tray, you know, dairy milk, that's the word, not milk tray. All sorts of little things. And you could obviously wrap a whole series of them up and then put them into one of our acetate boxes, and that would make it look really special as well. As I say, if you're giving it to somebody who you're not sure about any allergies, please make sure that you add that inside, or maybe you could cut that panel and put it on the back of the chocolate if you didn't want the whole wrapper. So that's one thing you could do. So I hope you like that. It's making me feel a bit peckish though, so I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee. So what's everybody else up to this weekend, just while I'm having a breather? I'm getting the last of my class in a box packs finished today, so that is my aim, to have them at the post office or delivered tomorrow in the morning. That's my plan. Okay, right, so let me show you something slightly different but along the same lines. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way of the window. Lazy weekend. Oh, good for you, Tracy. Okay, so this one I thought would go with the hot chocolate card. And I'm going to show you how you could wrap these. Now these you get in all sorts of packets. So you get hot chocolate, you get coffee in these packets, all sorts of different things. And again, if you wanted to just give something, it's a nice way to decorate it up. So I'm going to show you a way to do that. And here is my prototype that I put together literally 5 minutes ago. I will show you how I created it. This is some old paper, last year's Christmas paper, with these cute little what do you call those? Soldiers. And basically this just slots into there. So it's a very easy wrap around. You can adjust it to the size, and I'll show you exactly how I did it from scratch. And then I've used that little tag topper again here. So what I'm going to do is create one of these to match my card. Okay, now if you've got trimmers and things like that, you'll find it a lot easier, but you can do all of this with a pencil, a ruler and a craft knife, or with scissors. Okay, you'll just get a nicer finish if you're able to use our products. So let me show you what I did. So if I just open this very carefully to show you how it went together. So all I did, and again I didn't really measure this, other than I knew I wanted this top to be less than 2 inches so it would fit in the punch. Okay, but if it was bigger than that, because it was a bigger packet of chocolate or whatever, I mean this could be peanuts, it could be anything, couldn't it? Then you could make this bigger and just punch a hole in the top. So all I did was I measured that, and I knew it was just under 2 inches. So I cut a panel that was 6 inches across by whatever the height was. Okay, and then I chopped out this top bit, and then I just cut this down at an angle, and it just gets wrapped around. Now you don't have to cut this at an angle, you could cut it straight across, you could add some fancy edging, there's all sorts of things you can do. I just want to show you the basics so you can go ahead and decorate some other things up. So, hello Pauline. So this is my piece of paper left over, this is my last piece of paper left over with this really pretty peony papers. And if I just measure this, if I can find a ruler, might have to use my trimmer. Like so, because I think this is 6 inches. Oh, I could measure it against this one, which is 6 inches. Well, slightly under. Okay, so this is, yep, 6 inches. So what I'm going to do is, to start with, is score it at 2 inches and 4 inches. So I've got the 3 panels. So I'm going to move my cutting blade out of the way and find my scoring blade, which has hopped off. How bizarre is that? Oh, unless I'd taken it off to demonstrate, I might have done. Anyway, I have a spare score blade here. So if you didn't have a score blade, you could just fold it. So I'm going to put this in at 2 inches. Okay, score it. And then you could either turn it round and do 2 inches again, or I'm just going to move it across to 4 inches. And it doesn't have to be exact. What you don't want is it overlapping too much. So this has got a really pretty backing. So if I just fold this over, you can see how this is going to go. Okay, like so. And then this is going to get crossed over like that. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is cut this little panel here so that I've got a section for my punch to do. This little piece at the top, if I turn this over, this piece here. So I just did it roughly. You could put that on to give you an idea for how much depth you need. So let me use my pencil. And again, so you don't have to measure it at all. Just going to do a line here and a line here. Okay, so I just popped that in there. And then all I'm going to do is position this. I can see where it's going to cut. Position those lines in my cutting guide here. Bring it down slightly because I know they weren't 100% accurate. And then I'm just going to draw this up to that score line here, if you can see that. And then I'm going to not move it or anything, do the same at the bottom. So I'm not measuring it, I'm literally just doing it by eye. And then I'm going to chop these pieces off. Now you could use the trimmer, you could use a pair of scissors as it's only a small area. I'm going to use the trimmer. So putting this score line in this channel, dropping my blade in at the intersection like so. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I can draw this one down to the intersection like so. Okay, does that make sense? So you can test it to make sure that this is going to work. This is going to go into there. This is going to get folded over. Okay, so you know that's going to fit. So the next thing I'm going to do is just cut this top tag. I'll rub out my mark as well. I hope this should fit in. I'm just going to turn this over. So although this piece here is wider, it allows me to pop it in to punch that little piece. Okay. So there I've got my little top piece. I hope this is making sense as I'm doing it. Hi Lynn, how lovely to see you. So I'm doing some hot chocolate wrapping to go with my hot chocolate card. And then all I'm going to do to make this look a little bit more interesting is I'm just going to cut this down like a little crisscross here. And again, I don't need to measure. Obviously, if you want to measure and make it absolutely accurate, that is absolutely fine. All I'm going to do is just butt this up at the top, use a pencil mark at the top and the bottom, and then I'm just going to cut from this edge to my pencil mark. So this is quite shallow because this piece of paper was a bit smaller than my sample. So I've just got my point here, which I hope you can see, and here, and then I'm just going to take this up to that corner like so, and then do the same on the other side. And this is where our trimmer is so good, because you can just literally line it in that gap. As you can see, I'm not even measuring it, bring it down to that point, and that's cut those edges. You could even keep a little piece of that if you wanted to. So now I've got a really pretty wrap for my chocolate. Like so. Just test it again to make sure that you haven't made any, you know, dramatic errors. Okay, just going to wrap this round like so. Okay, and I've got space at the bottom to seal that. Obviously, if it was really tight for space, what you could do is fold that bottom up and put a bit of tape on it so that it sits further down in your little jacket. Okay, you can decide at this point which side of the papers you want. I'm going to have this on the outside because I want it to match my hot chocolate card. Just going to rub out my pencil marks. Just finished work. How fantastic. So I'm just rubbing this one out, this one, and then these actually will be hidden, but you know, we might as well do it while we're there. Okay, so these are going to get wrapped over and my item's going to go inside. Now what I could do, because I just happened to see this piece here that was left over, is this is left over from the laser cut gold pieces that I'm using this month in my class in a box, and I used it to put over this join, and I had this bit left because it's 8 inches by 8 inches. So what I'm actually going to do is stick that along there and then also on the other side as well. Okay, now it doesn't matter which way these fold. So I'm just going to find my glue and just put a tiny amount along the edge. And this is going to be on this side because I want it on the on the outside. Let me just get that glue up and running. I'm hoping you can see that all right. That one, and then this one. And obviously this could be a really decorative edge if you wanted to. You could put a lacy edge on the underside. So what I'm going to do is put this one on first, although it doesn't really matter, because then if I've got a shortage, then I can make sure the shorter side is on the underneath, if that makes any sense. like so. So this is just stepping it up if you wish to. And as I've got a spare bit of gold, why not? So who's joined us recently that I can't see on my screen? So there's that one there. Then I'm going to put the other piece on here. And I want this edge to be tidy, so I'm just overlapping it, and then I can trim it down, because obviously this is going the cut is going the wrong way, if that makes sense. So just push that down. Remove my bit of glue so I don't stick to it. Okay, so this one is going to go in and that one's going to go over, so I've got a nice clean edge there. Let me trim this one down. Oops, my fingers are a bit sticky now. Sorry if you can't see, that really is tiny. So lift it up a bit. There we go. Okay. So what I can do now is close the bottom, okay, and then wrap this round and seal it up. So I only really need, well, I could do all the way across the bottom. I'm actually just going to use some tape for that, which I had right in front of me. And like a miracle, disappeared. However, as luck would have it, I have more. So this is our tear tape. And I'm just going to run this right the way across the bottom. So don't forget to leave space for your chocolate to sit in. So it might stand a little bit proud once you've done that. Okay, just bear that in mind. And just going to do that and just check which way. So this one I definitely want to fold in first because it has only got part of that. Do that like that. And then this one I'm going to put tape along because I'm going to wrap it round and adhere it. So you can use wet glue, but you'll need to hold it down for a little while. So, or you could use a peg or something like that, just to hold it in place. So this is my wraparound piece. Oops. And I do want a little bit on that end. So your best bet is to start at one end and then you can cut it off when you're ready, like so. Okay. So I can peel this away. Oops, so this is sticky along the bottom and up the front side. And then what I tend to do is put this in first before wrapping it round. Otherwise, if you do it really tight, you'll find you can't get your hot chocolate or coffee sachet or peanut sachet in. And then I just wrap this round like so. There we go. And push it at the bottom. Now if you had a little crimping machine, you could crimp the bottom of that. I used to have one, I don't think I do anymore. You could score it. So now I know that that will fit in and out. You could pop it on your scoreboard and just, oops, perhaps that's not such a good idea. Squishing the bottom a little bit, but you just want a really nice seal at the bottom. If you can see that, you could do that with a bone folder and a ruler or something. Okay, so this will now slot into there like that, and obviously I could have made this more defined if I wanted to, and my finishing touch is to add some ribbon to the top. So this is also that lovely petal pink. Who doesn't love petal pink? And I could add a tag on the back of here, or a label on here. I could put somebody's name using those initials. I'm just going to tie this as a knot with a bow, sorry. I knew what I meant. Let's just make that a little bit smaller and tidier. Just flatten that out a bit. There we go. So now I have a little hot chocolate sachet with my coffee cup, and somewhere in here I have my envelope with the coffee cup on it, or chocolate cup, but I can't see it. So I hope you've enjoyed that, something a little bit different. So there's so many things you can wrap up. You could make them really accurate by making a box, or you can do the sort of wrap and fold method where you're not really measuring anything, which is effectively what I did for this, other than measuring the distance to do the scoring. But you could have just wrapped it round and sort of, you know, folded it with your fingers. But yeah, so you can add a little tag to that as well if you wanted to. Hi Marie. Hi Vivian. Hi Janice. Vivian's here today, I love it. So let me show you the one I did earlier. And that is this one here. Today's plan: consume chocolate and be awesome. And for those that didn't see how I did that one, obviously you can watch it really quickly on replay. But can't even find my wrapper now. All I did was I took the wrapper from around the chocolate, laid it on my patterned paper and just literally cut it to size, wrapped it around, sealed it with tape or glue or whatever you prefer, and then I made a little label to go with it. Oh, here it is. So this is what it was, well, what it is inside. So all I did was put that onto the wrapping paper, onto my designer paper, cut it out, folded it, didn't even measure it, wrap it round, and then add a label here. Obviously, if you're giving it to somebody you don't know, please make sure you include the details here about allergens and things like that. So either cut out this panel or leave the wrapping on and wrap around it so that you've got you know, the relevant information. So I hope you've enjoyed that for Friday, something a little bit different. I love this stamp set. As I say, this could be tea, hot chocolate, great for Christmas. The other thing that's quite good to wrap, if you want to, for Christmas, is often at Christmas you get these decorative nail files, emery boards, things like that. So this would be a really nice way to present that as well. Literally just measure the width of it, measure the height, wrap it round, and say all I did that was slightly more technical is cut this piece here, but you could just cut those with scissors if you wanted to and punch a hole with a hole punch. But obviously our tag topper punches are perfect for those. So there we go. Thank you so much for joining me this week. We've had quite a productive week, I feel. Everything using that particular stamp set, which is my stamp set of the week, and that is called Nothing's Better Than. And then you'll see there's lots of sentiments. We didn't actually use all of the sentiments, but they're really nice font, and it has the matching letters. So we have the words here plus chocolate, cookies, cocktails and coffee. And as I say, make your own one up. So it could be tea, it could be, I don't know, whatever your favourite tipple is. It could be Pimm's, Prosecco, although that might be quite painful to do, mightn't it? That's quite a lot of letters to cut out. So there we go. Thank you very much indeed. I have appreciated you being along with me. If you've been watching on catch up, then feel free to make a comment. Thank you, Jeanette. If you need any assistance or look at any of the products or order the stamp set, just message me or email me, and I'll do what I can to help you. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. I appreciate your company. Look after yourselves, stay safe, look after each other, and I hope you can keep crafting. Thank you so much. Bye bye.